Okay, so for more than 200 years, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice has had this reputation, right? It's the greatest love story of all time. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? That underneath all the romance, the witty comebacks, and those gorgeous country estates, Austen was hiding something else, something way more radical, a sharp and honestly subversive critique of her entire world. And it all kicks off with one of the most famous and maybe most misunderstood opening lines in literary history.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. I mean, you've heard that line a million times, and on the surface, yeah, it sounds like the perfect start to a rom-com. But if you look just a little bit closer, you realize Austen isn't just setting the stage for a love story. Nope. She's setting a trap. She's using some seriously deep irony here to clue us into what this book is really about.
So is it romance? Or is it a warning? Well, that's the whole point. That opening line, it's not really about love at all. It's about economics. It's a total warning shot, letting us know that this story is actually about the brutal, high-stakes game of survival that women had to play in the marriage market. The romance, that's just the Trojan horse she uses to sneak in a really powerful social critique. All right, Section 1, A Gilded Cage, Austen's England. We're diving into the hidden rules of money, class, and survival. So to really get what Austen's doing, we've got to step into her world, Regency England. And yeah, from the outside, it looks all elegant and proper. But underneath all that, it was basically a gilded cage with a whole set of rigid, unwritten rules, especially if you are a woman. And the difference between a man's world and a woman's world, it was absolutely stark. For a man of a certain class, the world was your oyster. You could inherit property, you could have a career, you could basically control your own destiny. But for a woman, life was that gilded cage. Your education wasn't about making you smart, it was about making you marriageable. Your entire future, we're talking financial security, your place in society, everything, it all came down to one single thing, making a good marriage. And the entire crisis for the Bennet family, it really just boils down to this one single legal rule, entailment. So what is it? Well, it's a rule that basically said daughters couldn't inherit the family property. The whole estate had to pass to the nearest male relative. So for the 5 Bennet sisters, that means their home, Longbourn, is legally promised to their unbelievably ridiculous cousin, Mr. Collins. This one rule is just hanging over their heads, pushing them, forcing them into this marriage market. And that's what turns society into it's basically a high-stakes marketplace, the marriage market. For women in this class, marriage wasn't really about romance. It was about survival. A woman's beauty, her skills, her family connections, that was her currency. It's exactly what Elizabeth's friend Charlotte Lucas says so bluntly when she decides to marry Mr. Collins. She says, "I ask only a comfortable home." And for so many women, that was the grim reality. The best you could hope for wasn't true love, it was just survival. Okay, Section 2, The Rebel with a Wit. Let's meet Elizabeth Bennet, a totally new kind of heroine. So, into this super restrictive world where you're supposed to just play by the rules to survive, Austen introduces someone who flat out refuses to play the game. Elizabeth Bennet. She is not your typical heroine. She's more like a quiet revolutionary, and her weapons are her intelligence and her wit. That's how she fights back from inside the cage. I mean, just look at her. She's intelligent, she's observant, she's witty and outspoken. In a world that wanted women to be quiet and agreeable, Elizabeth is anything but. She's fiercely independent. And this next part is what makes her so radical for her time. She values her own self-respect more than she values financial security. Think about it. She turns down 2 marriage proposals that would have completely solved her family's financial problems. Why? Because accepting them would have meant sacrificing her integrity. That was a truly revolutionary act. So, you might be wondering, how do we know all this? How do we get so deep inside her head? Well, it's because Austen uses this incredible literary tool that she basically helped invent. It's called free indirect discourse. And what it does is it kind of blends the third-person narrator's voice with a character's own private thoughts. It's like the narrator is whispering Elizabeth's internal monologue directly in your ear. It gives us this intimate front-row seat to her mind and lets us see her world through her super critical, incredibly intelligent, and honestly pretty funny point of view. All right, on to Section 3, Marriage, Survival, or Scandal. This is Austen's exploration of love, money, and ruin. So we've got our rebel heroine, and now Austen uses the entire plot to explore the incredibly limited and often dangerous options women had.
all through the lens of marriage. Because she shows us that for a woman back then, marriage wasn't just one choice, it was every choice.
And Austen lays out this whole spectrum of choices through the different marriages in the book. On one end, you have Charlotte Lucas marrying Mr. Collins. That's pure pragmatism. It's a business deal for a comfortable home with zero love or respect involved. Then, on the complete opposite end, you've got Lydia Bennet and Mr. Wickham. Their marriage is all about recklessness, and it nearly leads to absolute social ruin for the whole family. But then, right in the middle, Austen gives us her radical ideal, the partnership between Elizabeth and Darcy, a true union of equals built not because they had to or on a whim, but on real love and mutual respect. And that whole situation with Lydia really hammers home just how fragile a woman's world was. Her elopement wasn't just some personal mistake. No, it was a potential catastrophe for the entire family. In that society, a family's reputation was everything. So a single misstep by one sister could completely poison the well for all the others, making them all unmarriable and basically leaving the whole family financially ruined. The stakes were just that high.
So, Section 4, Why Austen Still Matters. How did this Regency novel become such a cultural touchstone? I mean, why are we still obsessed with this book over 200 years later? It's because Austen's critique, so perfectly wrapped up in this amazing love story, created something that's absolutely timeless. It went way beyond just being a novel. It became a part of our culture.
And you can really see its journey through pop culture. I mean, the 1995 BBC series with Colin Firth, that became a global sensation. Then just a few years after that, you get Bridget Jones's Diary, which brilliantly took Austen's entire plot and mapped it onto all the anxieties of modern dating. Whether it's a prestige TV drama or a big Hollywood movie, every single generation seems to find a new way to fall in love with this story and its incredible heroine.
And that really gets to the heart of it. Jane Austen's novels are more than romantic comedies. They are sharp critiques of the social structures of her time. That right there, that's her genius. She pulled off this incredible magic trick. She wrote an absolutely irresistible romance that was secretly a razor-sharp takedown of class, money, and gender politics. She invites you in for the love story, but she makes you stay for the social revolution. So at the end of the day, Pride and Prejudice is basically a masterclass in looking beneath the surface. Jane Austen brilliantly peeled back the curtain on all the unspoken rules that ran her world, the rules that decided who got power and who didn't. And it leaves all of us with a pretty powerful question to think about. She exposed the hidden rules of her society. What are the hidden rules that govern ours?